Welcome everybody to another episode of UFO Man Live. Tonight I've got Tommy Highway, an awesome author and friend, and I have a couple more people coming on later, and we're going to be talking about UFOs as usual, and anything that anyone in the chat is interested. Hi, Smoking Joe, thanks for coming. Hi, Bill. Hi, Pammy. Nice to see you. Psycho Lurch, Samuel San. Thanks, everybody, for showing. We're trying to work out the kinks. And when we get the kinks worked out, we'll have a smoother show. This is more or less a practice run for our scheduled live, which is on the 14th at 2 o'clock. That would be this coming Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you're interested, please feel free to show. All right. Anybody in the chat have any ideas? Hello, Lucas. Anybody in the chat have any ideas on what they'd like us to talk about? Any ideas at all?
If not, I do have a story.
Okay. All right, Tommy, you have the floor.
Story time with Uncle Highway once again. Okay. I'm working for the government at this point, and I'm in IT, which means that you have to sort of keep a low profile, if you will, which is, what I did. I found this house in Florida I was in Florida at the time. Awesome place. Had a putting green, a full pool, barbecue. All this is like underneath a screen canopy. Okay, so no bugs, right? And I loved the place. I loved it. I really did. As soon as I got the place, I thought to myself, Tommy, you need to get yourself some companionship. And at the time, I was a bodybuilder. So I basically talked to a friend of mine, an old friend of mine, former friend of mine, that suggested I go on plentyoffish.com. I never really did the dating thing online before or whatever. And again, this is 10 years ago. So I decided to go ahead and go for it. I created a profile and all that, and whatever you're supposed to do and stuff, right? And I got several, likes or, whatever they call that when you're interacting. Right. But I got one that really struck me as being very attractive. We're talking 6'2", brunette, thin, athletic. I mean, exactly, frankly, what I'm looking for, right? So I contacted her, or she contacted me first. Then I contacted her back, and it went back and forth like it, it always does on dating things. And we started to date. And I went out with her several times, and everything was just fine. No problem at all. I mean, she seemed like, awesome. She laughed at my jokes. She did all the right things, right? So as we started dating, and we're talking about in a matter of a month, okay, weeks really, I started seeing different things about her that I wasn't really into. Like she would flip out about little things, like blood getting splattered on the windshield, that sort of thing, right? Okay. So, but she was so hot. I mean, you tend to ignore a lot of things, and I think that's men and women both, right? Anyway, it was her birthday. Her birthday was coming up, and being the boyfriend that, even though this thing was only like a few weeks old, what are you gonna do? You're gonna take your new girlfriend out. You're gonna shower her with a great meal and do all the things that you're supposed to do. Yeah. Well, we show up at a Bonefish Grill in Florida, which happened to be just blocks away from my home, right there. And we walked up to the door, and this is like the dinner. It was like 7 o'clock or so, something like that. And of course, the place is packed. And so we got one of those pager things that they give you, those, that lights up and vibrates. Okay, no problem. So we get the pager, we walk back outside. We're laughing and joking, and everything is fine. Everything is just fine. So we finally, the pager goes off, and we go in there. It just so happens that they put us in next to the south wall glass of this restaurant. Couldn't miss us. Anywhere in the restaurant you were sitting, you could see where we were sitting. Okay, no problem. So we're talking, laughing, joking. Everything is fine. And then the waiter kid comes up, takes our order, brings us a couple of drinks, whatever. We're sipping on a couple of drinks. We're talking, and all of a sudden, in the midst of this conversation, which is perfectly normal conversation, nothing wrong here. Everybody's happy. Okay. Then all of a sudden, she gives me this look like, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And I'm telling you, as God is my witness, she burst into tears. Okay. Every person in that restaurant stopped what they were doing, turned to look at us. A crying baby stopped and turned to look at us. Flies that were in the kitchen came out to look at us. Okay. And I'm sitting there like, because I realized that I do not have the power of invisibility, because I sure did try. Everybody's looking at us. She's, I'm like, okay. So finally, it was so bad that I got out of we're in a booth. I get out of my side of the booth. I go around to her side, and I sit down, and I put my arm around her, and she just keeps freaking out. And then the waiter kid comes back, and he brings us more drinks. I'm like, "Listen, man." He's like, "You want to take an order?" I'm like, "Sure. What would you like?" And she's like, "I want whatever she bought and whatever she ordered and whatever I ordered." I'm like, "But can you make it quick?" And he's like, "Oh, sure, no problem." Anyway, she finally calms down a little bit, to where I could get back to my side of the booth, yeah. And the kid brings the food, and I'm like, "Listen, man, put it in a box." He laughs at me again, because she's still weirded out. And so the kid takes the food back there. The son of a bitch is gone for 25 minutes at least, almost half an hour. I was looking at my watch, my phone. He finally brings the stuff back. Like that, right? And there's no reason for this, man. There's like no reason at all. So the kid brings the food in the box, and I grab the box. "Let's go." And I grab the boxes and tell her, "Let's go." And as I'm getting up, I turn and I look, and not even 2 tables away was this woman that I worked with for the government. Nosiest woman on the planet Earth, gossipiest woman on the planet Earth. And I knew that. I knew it. So we go back out to her car. She's no shape to drive, so we're driving her car. So I get in, get her keys, and get in, fired up. And again, I'm just seriously, when I say like not even half a mile, for real, away from this restaurant where my crib was. And as we're driving back to my place, she confesses to me that she is in fact an in-house mental patient, and has been all of her life, actually out on release. I had no idea. I mean, you don't know. You don't know. And I didn't know. So I finally get back to my place, and we pull up in the driveway, and I jump out of the car, and I'm like, "Have a nice life. I'm out, man." And she's wanting to come in, which obviously isn't going to happen. So she sat in my driveway for half an hour or so before she left, but she finally left. She's gone. Oh, and dodge that bullet, right? So
yep, sure did.
Yeah. Well, so this is like on a Friday night, and I got to go to work on Monday morning. So I got to work Monday morning, like usual. Again, big government office, huge building. And I walk in, and people are looking at me weird. And I noticed it right away because I mean, I know all. I'm a computer guy. I know everybody, and this is not okay. This, the people are like looking at me like, ooh, okay, so whatever. So I go back up to my desk and and get ready to log in, get ready for work. And it wasn't another hour or so in my workday that I get a call from the big boss. I mean, like God, okay, in the government. They called him the district secretary, the number one, the head honcho in the building. He's calling me up to his office for a promotion. I had no idea, but I never thought anything about it other than I must be in trouble, but I had no idea why. So I go up to his office and his secretary's on the phone. She waves me into his office and I go in. There's my supervisor sitting there and the big boss. And again, he's over everybody. Okay. He wasn't over me directly, but over everybody. So we sat down. He's like, okay. He's like, well, I heard you had a bad night Friday night. I'm like, yeah, I did. Well, how do you know that? I drug a woman out of a restaurant and slapped her around and put her in her car and drove off. Okay. I don't think so. And I explained the situation. I told him the story as I have explained it to you, the whole deal. And he's like, and he was real sympathetic. He's like, oh man, I'm real sorry. Oh, that sucks. I'm like, yeah, that's what happened. My supervisor hated my guts, so he wanted me to be fired. He was real surprised that it wasn't happening. But anyway, he's like, well, listen, man, it's okay, brother. Just, I hope you're okay. And he was, again, very okay about it. So anyway, I go back to my desk and, the rest of the day goes by, no big deal. And I go back to my house, I get off at like 5. I'm a government employee, get off at 5 o'clock, right? It's Florida time. So I go back home. And as soon as I walk in, and I had to unlock the door, a big oak door, real nice place. I walk in, realize that shit is trashed. The house is completely trashed. And I mean, even like I had a picture of a Dalmatian that had died on the wall. The only thing I had in there that I cared about, and it was gone. That's personal. And I knew that. So I'm sweeping through the house with my gun, boom, 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 boom. And I realized that the back door, the glass doors into the wet bar had been kicked in, or at least one pane had been kicked in. That's how they got entry. So I call the cops and they come over, blah, 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 take pictures of everything, the whole 9 yards. Do you know who did this? I said, yeah, I do. Gave him the name, number, whatever. And the detective was like, what are you doing sleeping with a mentally ill girl, boy? Man, I didn't know. I had no idea. She seemed, I'm telling you, if this woman walked up to you, you would think she's the hottest woman in the world and perfectly stable. You would have no idea she had a mental problem. So they take shit that the cops do, whatnot. And then he leaves and he says, well, listen, if I find out you do anything else, I'm going to come back and arrest you. I'm like, well, good luck. They were totally on her side. So I took plywood and stuff and I nailed it into the door frame to cover up that was broken. And I went to work the next day. So I'm at work and everything. Then I turned around and I didn't hear anything else about it. Everybody seemed to chill out on my side of things because you can't keep anything secret there. Literally, you can't keep anything secret if you work for the government, anything. So I left that day. I went back home, and as soon as I pulled up to my place, there's a weird car. There's a weird car sitting, it's like a cul-de-sac. On one side of the cul-de-sac, on one of my driveway, there's 2 women, a white woman and a black woman, standing in front of my door. So I couldn't even get in my driveway. So I just pulled up, next to the mailbox, jumped out, walked up. Excuse me, ladies, can I help you? You Tommy Brock? Yep. And they just proceeded to dress me down. They called me everything but a child molester. I'm telling you, you shouldn't be trying to have sex with women that are, sick girls and blah. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I said, listen, she contacted me. I've got it on a computer. Now, just so happens that my next door neighbor, and this is a nice neighborhood, happens to be an attorney. So he sees this going on. He walks over. And I'm telling you, Greg, his name's Greg, and I owe Greg so much because he just tore into him. He's like, wait a minute, you can't prove that, blah, blah, blah. You know, just one of the things that lawyers do. And he beat him down, and they took off. They left. Both of them did. They left in separate cars. So go back in the house, and everything's fine after that. And then I get her mother. I didn't know this, but some woman knocks on my door. This is like a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever it was, and knocks on my door. I'm like, okay. I'm like, hey, how are you? And she's like, are you Tommy Brock? You know, I should have learned not to acknowledge that shit, but I did anyway. And I said, yeah, it's me. So she goes, well, let's call her Rachel. I'm Rachel's mother, and talk to you. Oh, so anyway, she comes in and she proceeds to tell me that the woman has been institutionalized her entire life. She was only out on like this furlough thing or whatever, this weekend thing for their parents or whatnot. They were so embarrassed. They're so sorry that they hurt me, blah, 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 blah. Listen, the book, well, here, let me pull a copy out for you. The last book, Strange Tales from the Highway, Volume 2, it gets into more detail about this, okay? There's more to the story, but I'll tell you, I learned something. You can never tell about somebody else. You can never tell if someone else is single, sane, or even logical. And
it's true.
That experience affected my dating life to this day, 10 years later.
Very interesting story. Hold on a second here. Welcome, Jax. Welcome to the panel.
Wow, man, what's going on?
That's very true, Tommy. I agree with you 1,000%, 10,000%.
I think we've all gone through weird experiences with the opposite sex. Yes, we all have. And I understand your situation, Jackson. We're here for you.
Thank you.
Work. There's no doubt about that, man. We'll figure this out.
Glad you could come. I was waiting for Vern, but when he showed up, he was muted and there was no image. And Tommy was talking, so I couldn't bring him on. So I don't know if he's coming back or what he's doing. Let's see here. I wanted to play a UFO video and see if it comes over okay with the sound. We had difficulties last time, but let's see if it'll work this time. I just got to find the video. Okay, this is the one. Let me get it set up. Okay, there's a couple issues. Okay, all right, here we go. I get it large screen so I can share my screen. Okay, here we go. Share my screen. Share. Whoops. That's where I always goof. Hold on. Share. They should make it where it automatically plays the sound unless you decide not to. But they don't do it that way. Okay, this is the video. Take a look at this. Can you hear the sound? No.
No
sound.
How about now?
Yep. Got it.
Okay. This is over Angelton, Texas.
That's not a fucking plane, Mel. Oh my God, that is so not a plane. What the fuck is that? Oh my God, what is that? Dude. I don't know what that is, Mel. That's not a fucking plane, Mel. Oh my God, that is something
Looks like it's moving with maybe the camera.
Really moving, isn't it?
Looks
Oh
like it.
my God, what is that?
And he kept the camera on and off.
Yeah, I don't know if the car is keeping up with
know
the
what it is now? That is me.
UFO or vice versa.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a still. That is the best I could bring it out. Check this out.
This was next to UFO last night. That is just what that fuck is that? It's trying to hide from me. It's
Now
trying
this
to hide.
lady says some weird
Are you
stuff.
kidding?
Okay.
Guy. I'm a cool man.
Yeah.
What is that?
What the hell is that?
Weird thing.
Stationary, it looks like.
Oh my God.
That is cool. What is
I don't think drones look like that.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Now
He says it's out his backyard in the sky.
No, welcome to Florida.
Oh my God, there's spiders sitting there. Hi, sweetheart, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, now there's a black thing laying on top of it. Look at the big size there on it. Look. Oh, now it's the face.
They know we're here, and
Look at the face to the right. It's the
I'm
profile.
not going for drones on this one.
I'm gonna light it up. What's this? Shit. What is that? Breathe.
Check the drone show. It's the floppiest one I've ever seen.
right outside
You
that
think this is a drone show?
No, I'm saying if it were a drone show, it's the floppiest one I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I don't know how to explain it. and I
Check
don't
this
know
out.
what this is.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
This is one of the stills I took.
Independent units I've ever seen.
How it changes. She zoomed all the way out with her camera. I have no idea what that was.
Hey, are you watching a browser with sound while we're doing this by chance?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's you. You're delayed. It's like it's like you call a radio show and
Okay, hold on.
mute your speakers.
Yeah, how about now?
Yep. Same.
I don't know how to set. I closed the. Hold on.
What kind of bandwidth do you have pumping out of there?
Couldn't tell you offhand. I do know that I closed down my YouTube link.
Yeah, you're repeating yourself basically.
I see that. Hold on a minute. I'm going to see something.
I gotta take a piss, man. I'll be right back. Okay.
Yep, no problem.
Oh my God, we're live. I mean, I have.
That's okay. You have to use the post office. That's fine.
Right.
Hey, Jax.
Yes.
I'm not having that delay now that I'm talking to you. Did you notice that?
No.
Is there still a delay when I talk to you?
No, not at all.
Okay, it's only when Tommy's on. Oh, there it is. Why is it coming and going? I don't know. Okay, well, I'm just going to play another clip. Okay, let's see here. All right, everyone. I'm having a little bit of sound difficulties, but I am going to play another clip. This is something that is one that I want everybody to take a look at. We are trying, this is a practice live to see if we can work out our sound issues with StreamYard. It's kind of a difficult thing. Here we go. I'll bring this one up here. Okay, this is a clip about something that was approaching the ISS. Okay, let's see if I can get it coming up here. Share screen. Enable sound. Share. Go. Hey guys, it's UFO Man. This footage was taken at ISS Live on December 1st, 2019 by Ad. The quality is upgraded from 420p to 1080p. Could it possibly be that the ISS cameras caught the space program on camera? Check it out. Don't know what this is. It looks like it could be space debris or something other. Now I have a simulation coming up. This is a simulation of what I thought might be approaching the space station. This is obviously not what was seen, but it is just a simulation. And then we have an inversion of what was approaching the ISS. Okay, that's it. Don't know what that was. Don't know what that was.
Huh. Interesting.
Add Tommy here. Hey, Tommy. I still can't get rid of the echo.
Okay. It happens when I'm not in the room too.
Yeah, it happened with me and Jax. Yeah.
Okay.
But not at first. See how it's not happening right now?
What kind of mic are you using?
I'm using my 922X Pro Stream webcam mic. I think I need to get one of those mics you put in front of you.
This is what you need, in my opinion. Hang on.
Oh, you got one.
I'm just not using it, but yeah. It's this one right here.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And here it is. Well, I can't really show it, but I mean, if I wanted to use it, it's right here.
Yeah. Yes, I need to upgrade to a better mic.
You need to send me your address. Send me your address.
Send me your
email.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Thanks. Anyways, Jax, you got any story?
As far as what?
Anything. This is a chit chat. Paranormal UFOs. Go for it.
Right now, I'm making mashed potato and bacon pizza.
Yeah, that's a Massachusetts thing, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Send some to us. We're hungry.
I'm muted.
Tommy, you're muted.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. But to be, oh, Tommy, tell about your newest venture.
Hey, my high school guidance counselor was right about me all along. That's all I can say.
Tommy wants to start a political channel.
Yeah, I'm starting a political channel called Tommy Highway, and we're going to talk politics. If you'd like to go out to my website and figure out what my politics is, it's TommyHighway.com.
And Tim is
I'm
gone.
going to drop it. No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm going to drop out and see if it clears up the problem.
Okay. Yeah. It seems to be getting progressively worse, actually. But now. Wait a minute. I know why. Hang on. Hang on. This might be me.
Nothing,
man.
right?
Hang on. Man, it's probably is me. Holy shit. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I think it might be me. It's listening to my laptop speaker.
Is there still an issue? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to restart.
No. Wait, hold on. Tim, come back.
Yeah.
Tommy, it's him.
I think it's me. I'm listening to laptop speakers across the way. Let me change my configuration here. Hang on.
Okay. All right. The evens are presented in tubes under the Capitol building. Oh, you never know. That might be the case. I do know evens were the ones that met with Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1954 at Muroc Air Force Base. Phantom. Yeah, Mavic 777 is a pretty good site. They used to be affiliated with Secure Team, but then when Secure Team kind of went silent, Mavi's kind of gone silent as well.
Well, we're supposed to be heading back to Nevada Friday or Saturday.
Really? You're going to come down to the Washoe Club
Yep.
and other places?
Gonna try.
Well, that'd be cool. Jackson, Alex are making a trip. Hi, Alex. Are making a trip to Nevada to join up with VERN at VERNVISION Truth Network and investigate a place called the Washoe Club. Take the floor, Jax.
Was it 18 what? 1862? I think it was built around 1862. I'm not 1,000% sure. It's actually right on the building, and I can't even remember. I got cool memory problems right now.
No, that's okay, Jax.
They had a, I think it was an earthquake, right? They had an earthquake and part of the building fell down, so they picked it back up and they just put the wall right back up where it was.
Wow.
It doesn't even, it looks good. It doesn't look like it was, you know, all in pieces on the ground. But there's actually pictures of it online.
Right. Inger, yeah, we're trying to fix that. I'm going to sign out. I got to wait. Alex.
He's calling you.
What's up, Tim?
What do you think is the issue
What do you think is the
with
issue?
my computer?
Oh, I don't know, bro. I mean,
There's feedback big time.
has everybody tried literally to get off here and try to come back?
Tommy just went off. I'm going to bring him on. Tommy, it's still happening.
Should we
Okay.
try to get off too, maybe, and see if you'll hear it?
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, you're fine. It's me, I think. Ever since I played those videos.
But like I said in the last live, Ghost Adventures was there several years ago. And in the ballroom of the Millionaires Club, at the time you had to be a millionaire. Absolutely had to be a millionaire. They ended up catching in the ballroom a full-bodied apparition walking in the same direction that Nick was just in the ballroom and that left, like not even 30 seconds beforehand.
It sounds like it might be feedback. It sounds like it might be feedback on your end, Tim. Like you're listening to the broadcaster speakers.
Nope.
Interesting.
Through my headphones. Hold on, I'm going to sign off completely, okay? And I'll come back.
Okay.
So YouTube going to have to take over the stream.
We're taking over. See how it's doing it to us too, though.
I wonder if it's me. I can't hear anything. Let me mute myself. Let me mute myself.
How about now? Yep. Blah, 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 blah. Moon River. It's not there.
It's me. It doesn't matter whether if I have headphones plugged into the thing, you know, earbuds, or if I use my speaker, it doesn't matter.
Are you on a cell phone?
Yeah.
That's the delay right there. Gotcha.
Well,
have
I was going to say, I'll stick around until Tim. What's that?
I was asking if you have like home internet and all that, or are you using 4G?
Oh, I'm on someone's Wi-Fi right now.
Okay. You're on a PC?
No, my phone. I don't have a PC or a laptop right now. Probably. And it does say when I try to come in that it's experimental, so it's still in the working stages of StreamYard. So
yeah,
that could be a major contributor too, or it could just be my phone. I'll just stick around until Tim comes back, and then I'll jump off because I don't want to ruin the stream any further.
Well, I mean, we need to figure out. We want you to be a part of this. We need to figure out how we can work this.
Right.
I mean, what phone do you have?
An LG.
How many years old?
Maybe 2, if that.
Should be enough. Should be enough fast to pump it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, man.
And 3 days ago, I just reset the whole thing. I put it back to, I reset it, so it's been all like, it looks totally different from when I first bought it. So it's all new software on it. So I don't understand why it's doing this now.
Well, if you're using a 4G connection, that could explain it. Because the 4G connection is not the internet, it's different. I'm a network engineer, man. I do shit all day.
Let's see if I can get out of the 4G and use my data.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. Yes, sir.
That might make a difference.
Well, 4G and your data is the same thing. The difference would be if you had a home internet and you actually connected your phone to your home network. That would be the difference. But if you're running 4G, it's 4G.
All right. How about now?
Do, re, mi, fa, so.
Hello?
Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, te, do.
Okay,
I
I'm
don't hear you
here.
now.
How is it?
I hear you echoing, but I don't hear me echoing anymore. Yeah, I do.
Crap. Well,
It's
I
still there?
rebooted my system.
We think it's actually, we think it's Jax.
Really?
Yeah.
Will's new, Tim.
Well, Jax, you know how it is.
Yeah, we'll do whatever we can to help you out, brother.
Yeah.
I jumped off
Okay,
the
well,
Wi-Fi. Now I'm on my data right now, so I thought maybe that would make a difference, but it doesn't.
Do, re, mi, fa, so.
Go re mi fa so.
Yeah, big delay. It's the lag of the 4G, I think.
So it's not me.
No.
Okay, well, I rebooted my system just to be sure.
Well, here's how we can figure it out. Jax, would you mind dropping and let's see what happens?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, Tommy. 1,
Do,
2, 3,
re,
4, 5.
do, re, mi, fa, so.
Nope. No echo.
good.
It is
We're good.
Jax.
Yeah.
I
want to help the guy. I just don't know how to do that.
I'd like to help him too. Hi, Mike. Thanks for hanging with us. We've been using this as a practice run for our scheduled live, which is on the 14th, which would be Saturday at 2 o'clock. We're doing it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because we want to do a United Kingdom friendly stream so that QVID from Liverpool can join the panel. We also have another gentleman by the name of Bryce Lees, who is also from the United Kingdom, who's going to come on the panel and tell his story about some sightings he's been having. So if any of you are interested in finding out some new information, please attend the live on Saturday at 2 p.m. This will be on the 14th. In regards to someone in the chat asking about the UFC sighting last night, I didn't see that. So if you have any information or a link, please post it in the chat so that we all can go and take a look at it. And we will definitely do so and follow up on it. Travis, good to see you. Glad you're here. Sandy, good to see you as well. Donald Goodall, nice to see you too. Thanks for coming to the chat. In regards to tonight, it's mainly a practice run. We did find out one of our issues was someone else who had something to do with his sound system. But out of the graciousness of Tommy over here to my, well, it would be to my right. I don't know what how he appears to you, but he's on my right side. He's going to be sending me a professional mic, which is really nice, so that we can get things done the correct way. Anybody in the chat have any suggestions in regards to what they'd like to talk about? If so, you have the floor.
Actually, I wouldn't mind bringing Jax back on just to have him mute and see what happens.
Yeah, we could bring him on. Have him do that. Jax, come back on and mute your sound system, but come back on. Yes, Inger, I know who Mabby777 is. In fact, Mabby used to have a different name before Mabby777. They've been online for a few years now. And when Mabby went and became associated with Secure Team 10, or should I say affiliated, became a partner with Tyler, he got a lot more good clips that he presented to the public. because Tyler gets inundated with people sending him stuff. Alrighty, we're gonna bring Jax back on, see how he is. No, Mavi 777 wasn't Crow 777. Crow 777 was the guy that was shut down, I guess, because he was showing the glitch on the moon. They called it the lunar wave. He was showing the lunar wave. For some reason, YouTube shut down his channel.
Nazis.
Yeah.
Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil.
You're thinking of somebody else, Spring He Mac. It was Mavi 777 was somebody else, and I can't think of the name. It was like a different language name. Justin, you're from France. Well, welcome. Glad to have you. Yeah. Moi, je suis Timothée. I know that. That means I am Timothy or Tim. Anyways, he has a UFC vid, Inger. Okay, I will check into that. Mavi has it. Okay, I will check into that, and maybe we can. Let's see. Maybe I can bring it up right now. Hold on. Let's see what I can do. Okay, Mavi. And that was last night it happened, Inger? Oh, yeah, Alex, Betty and Barney Hill. Yeah, we're gonna do a stream on Betty and Barney Hill. That would be a good one. And maybe we could get some input from everybody in the chat in regards to that.
I have tons of info on this case. Absolutely tons of it.
Betty and Barney Hill, you do, Tommy?
Yes, sir. Yes, I do.
Okay, we'll do that after we do the stream on the 14th, which is going to be about British crop circles from 2019. And that was a suggestion by VERNVISION Truth Network. So we're going to be doing that and maybe some UFO reviews. And then on probably the Wednesday following, we'll probably do a live stream in regards to Betty and Barney Hill. So we'll work it out. Tommy Highway and Jackson and Vern and I will talk, and we'll set up a date, and we'll get it going for everybody to be there and add their content. Okay. I gotta say, Tommy, you're very animated tonight. Love it. It's great. Jax, your pizza ready yet? Can't hear you, Jax.
Everybody's frozen.
No. Really?
On my end, yeah. Everybody is frozen.
We're fine, brother. Don't worry about it. Hey, Dr. Freeze doesn't have the kind of firepower I have, buddy.
We're gonna try to keep everything on the low key tonight. Just because usually when we do a live stream, I tend to get a little, I don't know, strict with the layout and the regimen of the program. Well, in this case, I'm not. I'm just going to be laid back. So, Tommy, I have a question for you. When you first saw that UFO over the Ohio River, did it change your worldview?
Well, it did. It reaffirmed it, I guess. Reaffirmed what I already knew from the 1989 incident, and what you're referring to happened in like 94. So
right.
5 years later. But absolutely. I mean, I'm aware of human technology. I'm an IT guy, okay? Had been for 25 years. That what I saw in either instance was not human technology. It just wasn't. It just wasn't human technology. So for 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 years in the future, nothing like we have now. And I don't care what the government has. It doesn't, it's secret. It doesn't even shake this. I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah. I've actually witnessed some things that are extremely odd. But
I love that story with the rectangles, the fiery rectangles. I love that story.
I will never forget that. There's another story I got to tell. There was a time when I actually I was out with some friends, and we were going out satellite hunting, to where you look up and you try to find the satellites moving east to west or north to south. And they would arrive at certain times of the evening. Well, when we were doing that, we were not anticipating that we would run into something other than a satellite or a shooting star, per se. And we actually ran into something that just completely blew our minds. I was jokingly commenting. In fact, one of my friends that was there was a sheriff. He was a sheriff for Olmsted County, which is in Minnesota, which is where Rochester is, where Mayo Clinic is.
Yeah.
And, okay. And he was there with his wife, myself, and my girlfriend. And we were sitting in lawn chairs at the end of our vehicle, and we were looking up the sky. And lo and behold, I just looked at my friend Sandy. Her name was Sandy as well, by the way, Sandy. And I said to her, Sandy, what if we see a UFO? And right as I said it, something shot across the sky, the full distance of the horizon, say the width of a car windshield. Okay, wow. Flew across the horizon, stopped, flared up like a bright strobe, but it was in the shape of a rectangle standing on end. So a square rectangle. It got really bright, sat there, shrunk down to a dot, and was gone. Right as I said that, what if we see a UFO? Those people who were there never believed in UFOs until they saw that. And after that, they were converted believers, including the sheriff, which you got to realize sheriffs are really pragmatic and very serious. So when they changed their viewpoint, it had to be a really big impact. So in this case, it was, and it really impacted them. Now, we went back to that site a couple other times, didn't see anything. But then I went up there on the hill. It was on top of a bluff above Chatfield, Minnesota. And my girlfriend and I were sitting up there, and I saw something literally block out the stars. It's like it was a big black square, huge. I would have said probably, I don't know, 3 football fields wide at least. It blocked out the stars, and it was right above a power station. You know those power substations that we have everywhere in America? It was right above a power substation, and it blocked out the stars, and I saw it flip. So instead of it being like flat, it flipped. So you could see it turn, and that's how I knew it was an object rather than just, Well, anyways, it was so clear that night you could see the Milky Way. So when it flipped, it's like, what the heck? And no sound. It had to have been extremely close to where I was because I could see the dimensions of it. But it was darker than the darkness of the sky. So that's how you could see it.
You know, what I've always thought about as far as the TR-3B and all that, like the plasma-based propulsion systems that are supposedly out there.
Right?
I just can't get my mind around that. It doesn't make any noise at all. I just can't get my mind around the fact that it doesn't make any noise at all.
Right.
And I mean, maybe they've got it down to where it doesn't, but if you're spinning mercury at a high speed, I mean, I got to believe there's something going on there. That's why I'm thinking that what we're seeing here is not necessarily, isn't black projects. It isn't DARPA shit. It's not that stuff. I know what I saw, 30 years ago, and I'm telling you, it wasn't from here. No way in hell.
Right. I think, hold on a second here. I think that you're correct. From what I've heard, the TR-3B and the TR-6 do make a slight humming noise. Very, very slight. But the one I saw made absolutely no sound. Now, what I saw was not a triangle. It was a square, complete square. Now, if that was ours, we are incredibly farther along than what the general public is even aware of. I mean, wasn't it Ben Rich? Sorry,
aerodynamics no longer apply to you. Terrestrial aerodynamics, they're out the window. So how the hell are we doing that?
It's not like we're moving through air. It's like we're moving through a time slip, kind of.
Spatial thing.
Like quantum physics. Yeah, exactly. What I can say is that, I don't know what I saw, Sandy, but I don't think it was ours, to be honest. But if it was, and you got to think about what Ben Rich, the ex-CEO of Lockheed Martin Skunk Works, said about 10 years ago before he passed away. He said, we have the technology to take ET home. Mm-hmm. That was 10 years ago.
Sure did.
If we have the technology to take ET home, that means we have interstellar travel. If we have interstellar travel, we have travel that's faster than light.
Yeah, it has to be, no doubt.
And that wouldn't be a conventional engine. That wouldn't be an ion engine. That would not be a nuclear powered engine. That would be something else.
It'd be something that either we develop by chance, by happenstance, which I don't believe, or something based on propulsion systems or whatnot that we've already captured or acquired from extraterrestrial sources. In other words, extra Earth, outside of the planet sources. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean,
right?
How do we figure out how to spin mercury into some anti-gravitational? How do we do that shit? I mean, come on, that's way above us.
I heard, well, actually, no, the accelerated mercury propulsion systems were actually listed in the ancient Indian texts concerning the Vimanas. It showed how to do that, and they translated it to where they could actually reverse engineer that. That's how they kind of got the idea of accelerated mercury. It's also through the Germans, they got that information because they were experimenting with it as well. I think the Bell was definitely accelerated mercury. Yeah. But at first, the first De Glock Bell was a nuclear. They used a micronuclear reactor to propel the mercury to get it spinning. And when they tested it at Peenemünde in Germany, the scientists who were around the outside ring had to wear nuclear suits because the bell put out so much radiation,
Right.
and it would just totally kill you.
And it killed a bunch of them, supposedly.
Right,
killed a bunch of them.
exactly. So that was completely, that was probably the beginning of, I would say, man-made accelerated mercury propulsion drives.
Mhm.
What do you think, Jax?
I'll be right back.
Jax, you're muted.
I'm sorry, Tim. Wasn't actually paying attention. I'm busy cooking.
Oh, I was asking what you thought about the accelerated mercury drives.
Yeah, I think they're real.
Yeah, do you think that they're propelled by more than just nuclear fusion right at the moment?
No. I think there's a technology out there that they're using that we can't even possibly imagine.
Right. I was saying that Ben Rich stated over 10 years ago that we had technology to take ET home. Yes, Mike, we do have cloaking technology. Jax, can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. Mike, we do have cloaking technology. We do have things that can go invisible. Hey, Vern, you can come in. I wasn't able to bring you in earlier because I had somebody talking. I'm sorry about that. You have the link. Please join the panel. Mike, in regards to cloaking technology, I think we even have it with super soldiers. We have suits that they can wear where they reflect back the image in front of them so that they can't be seen. In fact, I think there's some famous footage out there on the internet. I'm sorry about that, Vern. I hope you can come on when you can. Anyways, Tommy took a hiatus and we'll be back shortly. Yeah, in regards to accelerated mercury, getting back to that, accelerated mercury was discovered in the, I can't say it, it's the Mahabharata texts of ancient India in regards to the Vimanas, or flying craft. I guess they were the size of temples, and they had accelerated mercury drives that would eliminate 87% of their mass, which would mean that if you had, like, say, a 100-pound vehicle and you eliminated 87%, it would only weigh what, 23 pounds. So if you had a nuclear reactor propelling it, it would fly very fast and elevate off the ground. So that's what is going on with accelerated mercury. Hi, Pleiadian scientist, UFO builder. Glad to see you. What is the best age to sample someone for hybridization? I think that they are doing that when they start out when you're young. They follow family lines according to the abduction scenario. So they start out young. So I don't really know what the best age is. I would assume all ages are fine, but the younger you go, the newer the cells are. Yeah, Mike. Yes, we have suits, but in testing terms still. Well, no, I've actually seen them used on one person, and they actually did a test where he ran across the field and jumped on top of a tank, and no one saw him except for his outline. Mike. Yes, I've heard 4 years old and up is the prime age Pleiadian scientist UFO builder. And why I say that is because when you're young, your cell structures are new. They're just still burgeoning. They're still creating and multiplying and creating new cells that aren't damaged by, like drug use or recreational drug use or by life experiences or accidents or whatever, the environment or whatever. So, yeah, I would say that would be the case. Oh, okay. So you want me to send it to you in Hangouts then, Vern? Or no? Okay. No answer there. So, hi, Tommy. Welcome back.
It's good to be back. Thank you, Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah. How's the weather out there?
I'm in Colorado. Kind of sucks last couple of days, but I mean, I lived in Central Florida for 10 years and 8, 9, even sometimes 10 months of the year. There's no difference than here.
Right.
Other than the fact there's absolutely no humidity whatsoever and a lot less assholes.
I live in Minnesota, so there's sub-zero temps right at the moment. I think we hit a high today of 6.
Oh, wow.
And it felt like 17 below due to the wind chill. So we're like living in Canadian weather.
Are you eating ramen noodles right now, man? Are you surviving on ramen? Is that what's going on here?
That's got to be it.
Chicken, beef, shrimp, what?
You never know. You never know. What you drinking there, Tommy? It looked kind of interesting.
This is it's just vitamin C. This is
vitamin C.
Luanzol tequila. This is really good tequila. It's the same price as it is. It's the same price as Cuervo, but Cuervo is a blend of tequilas. You got a bunch of different tequilas dumped into each bottle. Right. This one is a single malt kind of thing. So
I have a lot of friends that drink Patron.
Yeah, I don't make that kind of money. I don't sell cocaine.
How's your pizza coming, Jax? Anyways,
here it comes.
It's coming.
Okay.
Where's ours, man? We don't get no. We don't get no.
Where's ours? Patron is cheap if you know where to buy it. Vern says.
Yeah, but I don't go south of the border because I can't. Well, let's just say I prefer to be protected.
DB Cooper says, "Do aliens like booze?" Well, this alien does. According to Vern, I'm a tall white, so yes.
And what do you think they're making that anal squeezings out of?
Oh, ugh. Yeah, there you go.
It's a thought.
Anyways, anybody got any ideas? Hey, Coop. When are you guys coming down to Nevada? When is that? Friday, Saturday, you said, Jax?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to live stream?
Gonna try.
Okay,
if not, I'll just make videos.
Yeah, that'd be good too. You could do both.
Yep, sure.
You could do both. That'd be great.
We're salivating for it, brother. Absolutely, man. We'll help you any way we can.
Yeah, we'll help you any way we can. Cross collaborate. That's The way it is. One thing I want everybody in the chat to know is UFO Man, Vern Vision Truth Network, Paranormal Underworld, Tommy Highway, and most of the UFO channels that I affiliate myself with and people I affiliate myself with are part of a grassroots movement towards disclosure, because as Tommy knows, and as I know, and most people that have worked for the government, they're never going to let the information out. Never.
Nope. And that's not even for, like, the budget on Staples. Okay, a box of Staples. They won't even tell you the truth on that. Forget about the black projects. Come on.
Yeah. They're not going to let the truth out. And the reason is they'll lose control.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, that's what it's all about, man. Think about it. That's the whole thing. At our level is a bit of an illusion, I think. And look, I think we have to have rules and blah, 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 of course. But look, we're keeping some of society's actually most important subject under wraps for military reasons. I mean, really, for military reasons. That's the reason why. Because think about it. All of a sudden, if, let's say, China got a new spaceship that hit the ground and relatively intact, and they could work it out and whatever, and they announced that, what are we going to do as America? You know, what would Germany do? What would anybody do? And I've come to find, after working for the government all the years, that maybe there's a reason for this. Maybe, look, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with non-disclosure at all. I think we can handle it. But what if we can't? What would that mean? Think to yourself, what would that mean on a global scale? All of a sudden, we're no longer the biggest fish in the pond? I don't know. I have my doubts. But that's me.
I have to agree with you to a certain extent, although I have to also say this. If, you know, our economy is really driven by a petroleum-based economy, meaning oil.
Almost completely.
And because we're driven by oil, if the news were to come out publicly from the government stating that we are not alone, and I don't mean saying, oh, UFOs are real, because they can say that and still claim that there are unidentified flying objects around, but we don't know what they are, but they're not alien. Okay, they won't come out and say they're alien. Okay, because if they tell you that, they're afraid of two things. One, they're afraid of scientists coming out publicly and saying on the news, okay, if aliens are real, how did they get here? What type of physics did they use? What type of propulsion systems did they use? What type of energy did they use? And the type of energy that we're referring to is zero-point energy, and zero-point energy is available, but is being suppressed by what we refer to as the cabal, or the elite government. Okay, and because it's being suppressed, we can't change the way our lives are. We can't change the way our world is. And if we were to change the way our world is with zero-point energy and some of the technologies that we gain from knowing that aliens are real and their technology is real, and that they are here or have been here for centuries, they think it would destroy the petroleum-based industries and the fossil fuel industry, and we'd lose a lot of money and jobs and whatnot, and they'd lose control. That's pretty much what it is. What do you think, Tommy?
You know, I'll tell you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'll tell you, the thing, it was a movie I saw, I believe. And it was, what was it? Damn it. This is back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. What happens when the Arabs don't have oil to rely on anymore? What happens to that society, I guess? And, you have to look at, all of a sudden now it becomes feed them or fight them. And if we have to fight them, we have to just wipe them out. So there's a problem here. There's a fundamental issue. There's a reason that we support the Middle East. It's beyond militarily, in my opinion, but that's going off subject. But anyway, I don't know, man. We have to stop and ask ourselves what we're doing here on a bunch of different levels, I think. And certainly the ET thing, the reason they don't do it, because it would, I truly believe that it would order. I do. And I didn't, you know what? I didn't think that before a couple of years ago. I thought, yeah, America can handle it. Not anymore.
Yeah, it's been said that the world order would be upset because if one country has, say, technology that is much, much greater than any other country on the planet, it would cause massive disruption of political systems, economies, whatnot, all over the globe.
They have no other choice but to try to take it
or go to war for it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it would cause maybe a big conflagration amongst everyone, and that would be something that we really don't want. So they're trying to find a way around that by releasing the information
gradually,
slowly, I think. Yeah.
Gradually introduce it into the populace and go from there. That seems to be...
I still don't understand why the media, hold on a second here. I'm going to add somebody. But I'm going to go back here a second. I still don't understand why the media is portraying UFOs as a threat. Now, I look at it this way. There are two sides to every coin, okay? You're going to have evil and you're going to have good. Okay, or you're just going to have benign or indifferent, maybe three sides. Okay, so you're going to have bad alien races if they truly exist, and you're going to have good ones, just like we have evil and bad here on Earth. So I don't believe that media should keep portraying alien races as a huge, monstrous threat. They may not be. We might be the huge, monstrous threat because of the military-industrial complex. That's just a different way to look at it, I guess. What do you think, Vern? Vern.
What do I think about what?
What do you think about the military-industrial complex and their control over society in regards to the UFO issue?
They have no control over anything. They're controlled by the contractors and the financiers who fund all of everything. They give them their jobs. They're not in control, I can tell you that much. They have a lot of power, but they are completely held at the whims and mercy of the people who own everything. And I'm telling you right now, there are people, a very small group of people own 10,500 U.S. companies in the controlling interest of the stocks of those companies. And they do so by buying enough stock in order to control the company by controlling the CEO, which is who they appoint. See, the controlling stock person, if there's somebody that has like 10% of the stock and the rest of everyone doesn't even have 1%, they are what they call a controlled stock owner. And then when they reach that point, they get to appoint the CEO of that company. Did you know that?
No.
Well, that's one of the because they have the most interest. Yeah, they have the most to lose in the company. So they have, by all rights, they should have the right to protect their interest on one hand. But see, that also binds them to not being able to just off their shares and all that. But that's not what their purpose is.
It's an automatic conflict of interest, is what.
Right.
I understand that.
And I can tell you this right now: they own 3 of the major media companies, conglomerates, and Fox is one of them. Okay, Fox, ABC, and NBC are all owned by the same fucking people. CNN is owned as a subsidiary by them. Okay, so they also own CNN. Okay, and MSNBC is part of NBC. They own MSNBC. Okay, CBS and AB and the other one, I think it's just CBS. CBS is still held by private interests because it's an old corporation and it's old world. Okay, that's the only reason why CBS. But CBS isn't going to rock the boat. But CBS doesn't do shit anymore. You notice that how they're really quiet in the background?
Yeah.
They've been threatened not to. They have 5 against 1 here.
Sold corporate headquarters a couple of days ago for really kind of pennies on the dollar. But that's the symbolic nature of the fact that they sold their corporate headquarters building, and I believe we can look at this up. But Google it. Just happened like I think yesterday, day before. So yeah, they're fucked. They're real.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go so to venture, but they're trying to own everything. Okay, and not to mention I've looked into their portfolio. Okay, and they hide behind a company that is publicly. They have a public and a private company that has the same fucking name. Okay, so that it's meant to confuse you, right? Because they have to be transparent in a publicly traded company. They have to show you everything, but they don't have to show you shit in the private. And in the private side, every one of the owners of this are the chairmans of the other company. Go figure, right? So they're all together in this private company. The only thing they have to name is the officers of a private company because that's part of the LCC or whatever, however it works, right? Okay, so they're all billionaires, right? But all of them coincidentally are showing that they only have $1 billion, right? That's kind of a weird coincidence, right? They're all like they show their assets. It's like almost even, billion even, right? So they only allow themselves $1 billion to live on, right? Only, right? But they control $16.5 trillion in assets. Think about that. That's over half the gross national budget of the country.
Wow.
Period. Everything that's ever brought in this country, that's half of it right there. And there are 11 people, and 2 of them don't even live in this country. They're international citizens.
Indians.
They can travel anywhere. Okay.
They're from India.
One of them's in Japan, and the other one's in Great Britain. The rest of them claim to be in the United States, but I don't know if they're U.S. citizens. Okay. I really don't know. I mean, they have so much power; they can do whatever they fucking want. Trust me. Because not only that, but they have controlling interests in all the defense companies. Go figure, right?
Right.
All the companies that feed people overseas, in the war and all that, all of our healthcare, and they own Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and all the banks that are set as board members on the Federal Reserve Board.
Wow.
Okay, so and who appoints the chairman of the Federal Reserve?
The
president. Right.
Hmm.
Think about it. Okay. Yeah, they have it full circle, folks. And Trump is as much part of it as anybody else. Okay, you don't think he isn't. He stands. These people are playing each other.
Vern, let me cut you off right there, buddy. Okay, it's the kind of thing that I don't know. I think we should probably keep politics to the side.
Well, let me add something, okay? Because he was an employee of NBC. Okay, he was an employee of NBC, and if it wasn't for Matt Lauer, he wouldn't have won that election. Okay, Matt Lauer put his ass on the line and got his ass fired, didn't he? Yeah, he did. He got fired for sexual harassment, right? Okay, so
you're right. He did.
There was some dissension, okay, in the ranks there, because Matt Lauer thought he was invincible. Matt Lauer should have been invincible by all rights, but see, nobody is. That they could replace you and me, anyone.
Sure.
And I almost think it's like
the president, actually.
It's like a machine, though. The whole thing works like a machine. No matter who gets fucked, it keeps rolling. And this is what's scary. I think it comes from outside our control. This isn't.
Okay. Listen. Whoa. Let's hold on, big fella. Listen. Why don't we look? I dig the fact that you have a personal opinion. Perfectly fine with me, man. No problem at all, brother. Okay, no problem at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, this scenario, this is what we're talking about here. We're talking about UFOs and shit, and ghosts and fucking whatever. Anything else with politics? Because I'll tell you. Now, let me finish. The reason that we're all here to do this is because we get fucking bombarded 24/7 with political shit.
Right.
Why don't we go ahead and try to talk about something else, man? I mean,
this is what it is. If you don't politics don't play a role in the UFO thing, you have no idea what you're talking about. Then you have no idea. What you're talking about. Politics
I've written.
Because they control our politics. They control.
I've written a book. I've written a book on the UFO thing. Okay, really. So yeah, I've actually written a book on the UFO thing.
I've actually
All
been
I'm saying is, let's just call
UFO. Okay, I know. I've actually been able to go and get caught up with them. I've been around out and seen them operating for 5 years. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So don't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about either. Okay.
Well,
I'm not saying that.
I could write a book about fucking about bullshit and still say, "Oh, I'm a writer."
Vern, I'm not attacking you, brother. I'm not attacking you at all. I'm not attacking you one bit. Okay?
What I'm saying here is that we have a situation that if you want to know the truth, it goes all the way to the very founding of this country. Okay.
You betcha. Oh, and beyond. Well beyond, I'm sure.
This country is designed for them, and the reason why is this is the land that they occupied in the ancient days. Okay, when it was destroyed, everything was destroyed here. Why did people come way over in Asia to walk all the way back to this land?
I have no idea, sir.
This is where I've been looking at human culture. I've been looking at everything because ancient people, primitive cavemen, carved on the walls things that are entirely impossible for them to have experienced, other than it had to have been something.
Totally agree. Couldn't agree more with you.
And so politics has to be involved here because they had some sort of association with these people. They had to understand. We don't have this association anymore.
The Nazca lines. I mean, there's so many different things that you can actually associate with shit that people can pull off. The pyramids, whatever you want. Absolutely. I totally, dude, we're on the same page here, brother. Right. I totally agree with that, man.
The pyramids, and the Egyptians are just like one facet. They were the drug dealers of their day. They were the apothecary. They had all the knowledge of healing and all this other stuff. Why did they embalm people? Why did they go through all this trouble of doing all this shit? They were very, very far advanced because they were shown shit. And this is where I believe that we were shown a bunch of stuff here. Because when you look at how
look at the
metallurgy,
Look at the cave paintings. Look at the carvings. I mean, the fucking guy, the carving from I think it was South America with the fucking the guy with the space helmet on. Are you shitting me? I mean, let me pull it up here, buddy. I mean, this is obviously realistic. Look at this, man.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Sandy. I already know because I've had deja vu, where I mean it's no bullshit. I mean, I seriously had it so bad that the person that was with me couldn't even handle it because she was just going, she's all, what's going to happen next? And it was funny because I'm like, we're going to be in an auto accident if I go through this light. And she's all like, so what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm not going through the light. I'm sitting there and the people are blowing their horn and shit. And she's laughing her ass off going, you're not going to go, are you? And I'm like, no, I'm not going. And the guy goes around me. And I mean, this car came out of nowhere and it hit him. She would have been dead. She would have been killed. And that's when we were going to this mall that about 10 years later, a guy goes in there with a shotgun and starts blowing people away right in Utah. The one that's I forget what they call that place. It's anyway. Okay. So I'm like, fuck it. And I made a U-turn and I'm like, we're going home, but everything for the 15 minutes up to that moment, I was predicting everything. I'm like, see that guy, he's going to cut me off. And all of a sudden he just cuts me right off and shit. I'm like, because it was so trippy. And she was just laughing. She was like, and she never did drugs. I knew this girl and she never did drugs at all. Her dad actually worked on the A-bomb with William Teller.
No shit.
Yeah. And she referred to him as Uncle Bill. Okay. So yeah, she were big time people. And she had an registered IQ with Mensa at 168. Okay. So she was no idiot. She had every orifice on her body pierced. She had tattoos all over her. She was as white as a ghost, right? And you were in Utah. I would be walking down, and I like the last person on earth I'd ever think I would be with would be a girl like this, right? And she's all like where everybody's looking at her like this and that, and I'm like, she had snakes for pets. I don't like snakes, okay? But somehow we clicked. I didn't have a relationship with her. I almost did. but it was like circumstances didn't end. But what brought her actually to me was I lived in this haunted house, and that haunted house was like what changed me, because I was a kind of a bad person. I kind of dabbled in a lot of bad things, you know what I mean? Like, and so when I hit a point where I was soul searching because I hit bottom, it was that house and the things that were in that house that turned around for me. Because see, everyone else, just about like in the previous owner, had very negative shit happen to them, and in weird ways, like their kids were affected by it in such weird ways that they're profound. And the guy was the district attorney of Salt Lake County. He was the head cop, and this guy came and was inside the house one day. They just let himself in. And he's all looking around like he's all like spaced out, like I'm like, what the hell, you know? Hello, can I help you? And I was just looking around, and like okay, what the, like this isn't your house anymore. He's wanting me to load this kid's playhouse that is beat. I mean, this thing is just garbage, right? He's got a brand new Cadillac, black Cadillac. He's saying, we'll just let him put it up on the roof. I'm like, wait a minute here. No, I got to call my roommate because something's not right. Like even like then, I mean, and that was like, I was totally a partier. I was so high, and I'm like, I don't want to be around this guy. I'm freaking high, you know what I mean? So it was just funny, but that's why we had to go in there, and he got the house so cheap. Is the downstairs, the kids had taken their diapers off and wiped them all over the walls and shit. And they never cleaned the walls up and shit. Yeah, we had to cut out drywall and shit. It was nasty, right? So, I mean, I had no idea that they were doing it because the place was fucking haunted, right? And they were acting out because they were being possessed by shit. And it was ancient. It was actually built above ancient shaman burial ground from the original Indians of all the Western tribes. They were the original Indians of all the Western tribes.
Great idea.
They called the Fremont Indians, right? Look it up, the Fremont Indians. They became the Hopis, the Navajo. They all spoke the same language, right? And the Eskimos even were related to them. So, I mean, like, I didn't believe in any of this shit, right? I mean, I was just I was a businessman, let's just say. I worked, I sold stuff, I led a life that was just the way it was, right? But fuck.
Hey, Vern, Davey34 in the chat was asking, could you tell us what you think about time travel?
It's totally possible. I know how it's done. I understand how they do it and everything. And it was because I witnessed what I witnessed. And time is irrelevant because there's no such thing as time, really. There's what is intervals, okay? And wavelength. And with these wavelengths, in between these wavelengths, there is a point where you can enter and exit into any time, depending on how far you go out to travel back in time. And see, time is a distance thing. It's a distance factor. Like if you wanted to go back in the 50s, let's just say, what you do is you travel out from the earth, follow the light until you could actually find where the light is, okay? Because the light is the key to it. And where the light of that reflection exists, and this is why people trip on mirrors, is because mirrors play a really weird role in things. I didn't realize this, but they have an energy about it. But anyway, the where you travel out to, wherever that, like say, okay, for instance, like in Star Trek, remember the one episode where the guy was looking at the Earth and he thought it was in the 40s, and he was like a cube. Yeah, he was like a baby cube. Okay, well, he broke it. That is a huge clue, and I don't even know why somebody would be inspired to come up with this unless something inspired them to do it. But he was looking back in the past. Okay, now if you travel out to that point in the past, where that light is just coming, the 50s or the radio waves, okay? Those radio waves right there are your doorway in. That light is, because from what I understand, they use a type of light level energy. It's a photon-like particle. We haven't discovered it yet, or mainstream doesn't know about it, science. But it's a particle, and it's a particle that can communicate with every particle in the universe at any moment. And for some reason, they hold the ability to travel back or forward in time, because the whole time event has already happened. We're like a cursor on a computer screen, like in Microsoft Word, and you have the beginning and the end of the document, and we're somewhere in that document, wherever that cursor is the present that we have right now. But it's already happened. That's why I had deja vu. Okay. Deja vu is that I'm just a replicant of my former self, possibly. Maybe it's even more than that. I'm not sure. But that means that there's paradigms. And so the paradigms are proof that there is an ability to travel in time. That's, to me, how it's proven. How you get there is a whole different story. Like I said, you got to be able to, you know, that's what the wormholes are for and shit like that, because you're traveling inside where there's no distance. There's no distance in that world. That's where they can travel instantaneously anywhere. But
I have a question for you. Isn't time a man-made construct?
Well, at the time that you're talking about, linear time, but there's a thing called distance and intervals.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And the intervals, if the universe is expanding, then it is creating time effect. Okay.
Okay.
And it stretches out. It stretches those wavelengths out, and then the wavelengths have to make up for it. And so I guess every now and again we have like what, you know, is like a bug in the matrix, because those wavelengths have to catch up with the expansion. If that's true, we are expanding, but we're not really expanding. I think it's actually an illusion, because I think there's so much pressure on the outside of the whatever it is that we're on that creates the vacuum, that it gives us an effect that we think that we're getting bigger, but it's actually just it's an illusion. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there is no inside anymore. It's like,
well, yeah, I try to tell everybody it's inside, outside, outside in. It's like, you know, it's not a scale where it's as big as it is small and as small as it is big, and it's inside of it. It's outside of itself. I mean, it's a trippy thing that it's really hard for us, because we have everything in this dimension, okay? And there's no comparison to that other thing, because it makes this dimension as well. You know what I mean? But it also has other places that aren't the same, that you can that connect and bind and hold everything together. Because if it wasn't there, the universe would collapse. It wouldn't be here. There has to be always a constraint, a pressure exerted to hold us all together. And that has to be instantaneously beyond the speed of light or anything, because light wouldn't exist in it.
I've always believed time, our perception of time, to be a storm, a fluid thing. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's strong. I don't know. But
well, see, when I looked into that other world, it was like the light was so dense, it was like fluid. It was like flowing. I don't know how to explain it another way. It was light that was doing it, though, and that's where I know it was. Like, my mind was able to look through that and go, you know, it was light, and it was so dense that the light was so dense it was like a fluid plasma. It was like, but I don't know what stopped it from flowing into this world. Like, I mean, the light was escaping a little bit, you know, through the prism of this, but I saw these objects going in and out. So, I mean, it was open. You could go in and out of this thing, yet what stopped that other world from coming into this world into the other world? What makes that barrier possible? That's the thing that actually really, because if you open that up and you don't have that freaking wall there, you're opening up a can of worms. It's going to
you don't know where you're going or where you're going to end up. Absolutely.
Yeah. Not to mention that's the other thing. You know, you open it up, where are you going? You know, you
have to have coordinates both to and from to get there. I mean,
so did you say, Vern, that once those portals open, they never close?
That is something that was rung into my head, and I think that they maybe they might close, but it takes them so long to close, it might as well be forever. Like for us, anyways, we wouldn't be able to fathom. But I mean, and you're talking about where they're opening something that's so small that it's like when you do anything else, if you tear a hole in something or whatever, the hole's always there. If you take a needle and you poke it through a piece of rubber, no matter how fine the needle is, there's still a hole there. Maybe it's not enough to do anything, but if something knew that there was a hole there and could push against it, they could expand that hole and come through, couldn't they? And maybe that's what happens over there at the Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know. And maybe it's thousands of years, maybe it's millions of years, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that pinhole is, once it's made, I don't know how they unmake it. In other words, you know what I mean? It's like they burn a hole through things. And
I like to think of it this way. They say that we're all made of energy, and we probably are, and we are, obviously. The energy goes somewhere after death, after our physical body dies or whatnot. But I mean, damn, who's to say that? Look, it's all gonna go somewhere, man. I mean, there's got to be some connection somewhere. You just can't take energy and turn it off. Even if you turn off a battery, the energy goes somewhere. I think that's right. It's
from what they teach us, is it's being displaced, but static electricity is the funniest kind of energy, electricity, because it does things that is not characteristic of regular electricity, and it does things that are not characteristic of a magnet. Yet it possesses both properties in weird ways, and then we can manipulate it. We can actually physically manipulate it with our minds if you knew how to do it. And I've already been experimenting with it, and I can prove this. And the thing is that the static electricity is how they propel themselves. Okay, in those ships. Now, how they manipulate the ability to do this and what carries it is that part of this static electric field is caused by gravity, believe it or not, because gravity is what holds it in place. See, static electricity is energy at rest, right? Static or electricity at rest. And how do you discharge it? Well, when you ground it out, it because you're the moving object, you move your hand and you touch your hand to something.
It's the ground.
There you go. And you have the ground, and there you go, zap, and you get shocked, right? Well, okay, so why doesn't it automatically do, shock and all that? It's because it's at rest, and that's where people don't understand. It's at rest. It's sitting everywhere. We have so much energy in plain sight that we don't use, and we waste all these other important resources in order to actually fight it, right? Because static electricity also creates resistance and creates other things too, that part of the gravity, how everything binds together. You know what I mean? Like if you saw how powerful static electricity is, you can understand that you can move. If I want to try this experiment, but I bet I can do it. I can move a fucking full-size log, or a telephone pole with a balloon. Okay. And not a helium balloon or anything, mind you. Helium balloon would be a little bit easier, but not by lifting it. By it being balanced, I could rotate that log around. Okay. And if that's possible, okay, then think of the energy that has. A balloon has no mass, and yet it can move I can move all these sticks hanging up in here with the balloons all day long, really, really fast. Like they are and the balloon doesn't move. The balloon doesn't flex. That's the thing that really gets me. I have one of those moldable balloons, right? They're flexible. I put it up against a stick, which is much denser, much heavier than that balloon, like 100 times. And I can get that stick to spin around like a top, right? And the balloon doesn't even move. That's a trip, isn't it? I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is.
So, well, static electricity, I have no doubt, is what powers this whole universe. And however it is, we live in a time in which I think either we're going to make or break ourselves. And if we don't go to electricity as our means for propulsion of everything, we're going to fail as people. We're going to destroy the world that we're in. And electricity is so much better. Electric motors are so much faster, so much more efficient if we just get over trying to charge each other for it.
I've heard that we need to make it past the uranium cycle of life, and that there has been several other civilizations that have been destroyed through nuclear holocaust, possibly on this planet, and that we need to make it past that, the plutonium age. We need to make it past that.
Yeah, well, one thing is,
if I may,
past that, perhaps grow.
Well,
right.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm just going to say, hang on a second. You have to deal with the fact that you have a perpetual power problem from the get-go for electrical vehicles. Where does that power come from? And how many more nuclear accidents are you willing to risk? And I think the last one was like 30 years ago. I mean, I'm talking about the last nuclear plant actually cleared for building in the United States for 30 years, man.
We could electrify the roads and use wireless receivers to run electric cars. Right now, we have the technology to do that.
I'm from Dayton, Ohio. I'm aware of electric buses back in the 70s, man. But they were probably pull that on a large scale, brother. I'm not sure about that.
You see what I'm saying? They were using those prongs, right? And they were connected. Yeah, well, they can do it without that now. You can do that without that now because fascinating enough. Okay, how can we do it? Where's the proof of that? The Oral-B toothbrush is a perfect example. You have one, and it's wireless, right? Mm-hmm. And how does it charge itself?
Mine doesn't charge at all. I put batteries in it every so often.
Oh, okay, so you don't have the wireless one.
No.
Self-charging one. They have one that's wireless, self-charging. It just goes on a little thing, and there's nothing connected. It's all because it's all sealed. You got to get it wet, right? What do you guys there, Tim?
It's just a blue bottle. No one saw it.
You know what? It's what son of a bitch has been drunk the whole time, man.
Okay, so imagine this. Okay, get rid of those electric prongs and all that, and electrify the roads. Okay, and then you have a battery on board, so if you go off of the main highway or whatever, you can recharge when you're back on the road. But you can go off road with it, and we have enough. We can go 200 or 300 miles now, right? You know, with a car, so it's actually feasible to do it. And then all you got to do is get to any main interstate or main U.S. highway or whatever, and your car will recharge. Because
sure. How long does it take to recharge an electric car?
Well, it wouldn't matter because you're powering the car on the highway. So you get back to the highway while you're driving the car.
Yeah, but that's not the reality of the situation. We have to deal with what we have right now.
No, that's what I'm saying. The thing is that you can run a car on a charge up to, I think that the Tesla is up to about 350 miles now, and with their new truck or whatever. And that's pretty fair. That's a fair distance. You know, that's
I agree.
Driving.
Totally agree.
So if you were to electrify the highways with these wireless ways of charging, okay, it's like your phone. You know, when you plug your phone in, you can still use your phone, right? And it charges. Correct? That's the same concept. Okay. And they have the wireless because you can now wirelessly charge your phone. They have cars now you can buy and you just stick your phone in the fucking console. There you go. Right?
You've never experienced winter before, have you?
Oh, yes, I have.
I live in Nevada.
No, I'm talking about Vern.
Oh, yeah, he lives in Nevada. There's a lot of
I lived in Utah for.
You got to understand what winter does. It fucks roads up real bad.
Yeah, but wireless doesn't fuck up wireless. It doesn't fuck up a wireless electrical transmission to charge. That has nothing to do with it. You could have you could do it on snowmobiles. Anything could charge on this. It doesn't matter. And the way the technology is, this is what Tesla wanted to give to us years and years ago. This is what he was trying to give to us. And he said that using a certain system or whatever, you could, an array of towers in certain areas, and it wasn't that many towers either, that he could affect a charge that was capable of running 100,000 households.
I think Tesla had his shit together.
But they defeated him. They fucked him over.
Yeah, they did, and there's no doubt. Yeah, I think they did.
Everything that we have that we say electrically wise is accredited to him because he invented most of the components that went in it or innovated it or discovered or whatever, like coils, everything. We wouldn't have fucking cars running on combustion if it wasn't for his electricity.
No argument here, brother.
You know what I mean? Absolutely. And this is another thing too. Think about this. You could count on two hands the number of people that contributed to our technology today. That's pretty crazy. So we really should be running around with blood, dragging our women around. Your woman goes and fucks another guy, you beat the fucking shit out of her. You got to. That's the way it was.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, it takes a lot of restraint to be a man today, knowing that you're a caveman. With technology,
knowing that your females are actually the result, the actual descendants of the females that no other culture wanted. Have you ever thought of it that way?
Yeah,
that's true. Wait a minute. Whoa. Let me.
Like they put them out, kick them out.
We're not talking about
politics. Sorry.
We're talking about politics. Women are politics, man.
Sorry, ladies. I didn't mean that. Ladies. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm the one that said it. Sorry.
Bacon with running mate chocolate milk. What the fuck are you guys doing over there, Alex? What the fuck?
Chocolate milkshake, bacon with running mate. That's different. Okay. Where's our pizza? I'm waiting for
potato pizza. They're making potato pizza, aren't they? That's what they're fucking.
Do me a favor, go to TommyHighway.com. I have political books. I have my experiences. The UFO thing goes to whole 9 yards. And I also offer my very first book, which I believe it or not, as a government employee, okay, I was a female fitness instructor for years. And I actually wrote a book about that as well. So if you'd like to go check it out, it's TommyHighway.com. I appreciate that.
Yep.
So the psychology of women is what's if you could give a guy 5 things of advice, 5 points of advice to women, what would they be? To dealing with women, especially if they're nuts. Besides run away, you're already married.
Well,
and you didn't.
I just didn't. Okay, go ahead, Tim.
I actually give 2. Be loyal and monogamous.
And if they're not,
I was going to say nerve gas, but you know what? That's, I mean, you know what?
really,
I'm not trying to get the
I
giveaway.
was thinking about like carbon monoxide, but
I'm sure we can all. I'm sure men and women can get along just fine together.
Right.
It's not a problem, but we have to try
Gyro.
to bridge the gap there a little bit.
Peter Davey, I agree.
You were a female for years before you became a male.
Hey,
when you
before
were
you went
saying it,
pal,
like I was, and I was like, oh, I'm glad you said what you did afterwards because it sounded like you said I'm a female, and I was like, well, no, you're not.
I thought, yeah, he posed as a female. That would be the government for you because they have to fill certain people in. They're like, we can't have a female do this job.
I'm found out, damn it. This is bullshit. Not only am I going to have you taken aboard a spaceship, I'm going to sue your asses.
There you go.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
That's the way to do it.
Don't you take your hat off at me like that.
I was just trying to get used to the whole beret look. I thought I could pull the beret look thing off, and you guys yanked the ring out from under my ass. My friends, man.
See, he was being beret nice.
Oh, how about
very nice.
Are you being beret nice, man?
There you go. Oh, now Vern's got a hat. Wow.
Comrade
Vern.
Oh,
Comrade.
Public.
Let's go fishing, comrade. I'll show you some things.
Well, anyways, we're going to be having a live stream on Saturday the 14th at 2 o'clock p.m. Why? Because Vern's going to be there.
No.
And Tommy's going to be there, and we're going to talk about.
That's not the reason why. The reason why is why you're trying to accommodate a certain audience, aren't you?
Well, actually, we're going to.
Sure. Let's accommodate the UK audience, man. Absolutely, that's a good thing.
And what are we going to accommodate them with is something that actually has there quite a bit.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about the British crop circle phenomenon, and it was a topic suggested by Vern from VERNVISION Truth Network. And so we're definitely going to be talking about that. We're going to be I'm going to try to get some video footage of the new circles that were discovered, and we'll play that. And we are also going to be showing some other UFO clips. So please come and attend. We would like to see you there. We'll hear more stories from Tommy, hopefully. We need to hear from him. And Vern
is perfect for VERNVISION is perfect for telling whatever story you want to tell and everything. It's a totally open channel to like anything but sexual nudity, things like that. I can't do that. Sorry.
Yeah, we're not on UFO Man, we're going to try to stay on topic as much as we can. Sometimes we tend to go off, but that's all right.
Go off?
No, go off topic.
I never go off. I'm always on.
Yeah. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for coming to the stream.
Off, right?
We're probably going to have an after show party on VERNVISION Truth Network. So if you want to head over to VERNVISION Truth Network, please feel free to do so and check out his live stream. And we'll see you over there. And thank you for coming. Thanks. Hi, Gyro. Good to see you, man. Glad you made it.
Good, everybody. Have a great one.
That's a link. That's a link to the actual whatchamacallit.
Yeah, that's the link. Vern just posted the link in the live chat room for his after party. Please come on over. Sandy and Davey and Justin, Cooper and Gyro, and we'll see you there. All right? Take care, and thanks for being here.
Wow, something weird is going on here. What the fuck?